And then I chose the butterfly, well, because you guys know I'm obsessed with butterflies, but this isn't my favorite kind of butterfly. My favorite butterfly is a monarch. But I thought this was fitting to the first question I'm going to ask everyone. So that's why it's there. And the black background is, his darkness. Anyway, we're covering chapters 35 to the end of Quicksilver by Callie Hart. And we're just going to go ahead and get started at the bottom with the beautiful Nikki. And so I wanted to know if you had any favorite quotes. And also, I have one question for you, but we'll go over your quotes first if you have any.
I actually do not have any. I did not even get a chance to finish this book because this week's been so crazy.
Mhm.
But again, this is a reread for me, so I kind of remember what all happens anyway.
Well, this is good. So, it's a good segue. Summer's insane. June is absolutely wild. So I'm hoping tentatively we're going to go a little slower with our next book. And then if everybody's like, I can't go this slow, we've got to pick it up, we'll pick it up. But everybody fell
Oh yeah.
behind with this one.
Mine's basically been I've just been feeling really like I don't know if I'm getting sick or what, and then trying to get into a routine with this new job. Just I've been sleeping a lot. Sleeping
Uh,
a lot.
yeah. So I think it's been 2 weeks now. Okay. Um, Leanne took me out on a wonderful date with her and her niece, and we went to Legoland, and I caught some horrible death play, which I then gave to Gwen and Leanne.
Oh no.
Gwen has full-blown pneumonia. Leanne ended up with a cough and like a sinus infection, and I feel like I am slowly dying. I'm on two antibiotics, a steroid, and the child never got sick. So anyway, you're not the only one who's sleeping a lot. I feel just not great.
Mhm.
Okay, so the question for everyone is the quote. I wanted to refer to it, and I'm gonna say it wrong. So Jameson, hop in if I pronounce it incorrectly, because we know you're great with that. Okay, an oshellus is a type of butterfly. He called as he went, OSHA for short. They hatch, live, and die all in one day. The cold kills them very fast. Am I saying that right? Oshellus? Is that right? Does anybody know? Oshellus?
I
Um,
think so.
he
I think
calls her,
that's right.
you think so? His often calls her Osha or Asha. And so my question for everyone, what is a nickname someone has given you that has stuck the longest, and do you love it or hate it?
This is still for me, right?
Uh-huh. And what does it mean?
Oh, I don't know. Like one of the biggest ones that usually stuck with me throughout, like even since I was a child, was short stack, and that's just because not very tall
Yeah, you're taller than me.
by like 2 inches.
Yeah. But still, okay.
But
That
that's really the
that
only one. Like
what about
my
Miss
husband and I,
Congeniality?
we just kind of stick with like Babe.
Yeah. There's no pet name.
No, there's Babe, or we'll call each other like when we're texting King and Queen. Like that's about it.
Oh, that's so sweet. Maggie, do you have any favorite quote?
Um, I don't have any favorite quotes because I finished it too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah.
Totally understandable. Yeah.
Um,
What about a nickname?
I've never really had nicknames. Um, The only one I can think of that has stuck at all is when my husband and I were on our honeymoon, we both gave each other nicknames for no apparent reason. And his for me was Royal Frizzante because Frizzante is the Italian word for sparkling water, and that was all I drank over there. And he just thought it
Oh,
was hilarious. Um,
I love that. I'm surprised you guys don't have. And how did you come up with your burlesque name?
My burlesque name came from the plant belladonna,
Hmm.
poisonous, and then I wanted to do kind of like a play on that, and wanted to also like very much give um like an ode to sex workers, and so and like the throwback term for sex workers of like women of the night, and so I
Yeah,
just like put that into Italian, so it's Bella della Notte, so beauty of the night.
I
Um,
love that.
was the
I love
vibe I was
that.
going with.
I've always loved hearing. I always think of practical magic because that's kind of how they poison him in the movie. So every time I see it, every time I think of that. Leanne, did you have any favorite quotes?
It was actually him explaining what the OSHA meant in a little bit more detail, with him
Hmm.
saying that it was like most sacred in the long run
Yeah.
because of the how they essentially pilgrimage to protect these butterflies so that way they can hatch because of how sacred they are.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's a flattering. I thought at first when I read it like that it was like she was weak, but
Hmm.
more of like special.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then do you have any nicknames?
So, my online screen name that I've used since I was like 14 was Kathleen, and I still have a lot of friends that still call me Kat.
Hmm. So just
I
stuff.
don't, yeah, it just stuck. And for a lot of them, it's like, well, that's how we met you. So using your government name isn't really a thing that exists in our world.
I think Jameson might be able to relate to that. So yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people, typically, if they don't use their government name, like if you see them on Facebook under that, you're like, oh, who the fuck is this? I've never, it's weird. Um, so how about you, Laura? Did you have any favorite quotes?
I did. It was more of I could connect to Saris's anger in this moment.
Yeah.
It was no, no, really. I'm so thrilled you've had so long to think about all of this, that you've known for hundreds of years that I was going to show up in your life, that you knew what those tattoos meant, and you got to decide that you were going to reject me for my own good and send me packing back to Silvarin. I'm ecstatic that you made all of these awful, difficult decisions on my behalf, Kingfisher.
Yeah, good quote. Also, comes to some of the questions that we're going to be going over. Hi, Udi. Do you have any nicknames that have stuck?
I do. I have one,
What's that?
Relentless or Relentless,
Yeah.
which
Mm-hmm.
is also my license plate on my car.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I always thought it was funny. You have like no rainbow stickers, nothing on your car, but your license plate is relentless. I'm like, at least there's something gay on here. But yeah, you definitely are. It is very fitting. I didn't know how fitting it was till months later, but yeah, you never give up. Karen, how about you? Did you have any favorite quotes?
Um, I I do I didn't mark up as much as I wanted to, but this one I have two and they're on the same page. Well, suck it, my Missy, stop. She's trying to work. Um, this one is where um he talks about that I accepted the bond earlier when I was inside you, when my soul was wrapped around yours. He was so calm, not a hint of uncertainty or nerves at all. And then he says, I'm in love with you, Sarah Spain. He whispered quietly into my hair, and I'm already half mad anyway. What's a little complicated thrown into the mix?
I love that part. I love that part. Um, yeah, that was one of my favorite quotes too. Um, just the bond that they have, like the intimacy they have is, I don't know if you want to call it toxic or insane or whatever, but it is top tier when you're reading it. And then do you have any nicknames?
Um, Mine is Care Bear. was spelled with
Of
a
course it
K.
is. That's perfect. I love that. I love that. Um, oh, I didn't know that. Well, now we know it will be used. Jameson, did you have any favorite quotes?
Um, I cheated. I had to look some up because I didn't read the whole thing, but um, I liked it's because she is moonlight. She is the mist that shrouds the mountains, the bite of electricity in the air before a storm, the smoke that rolls across a battlefield before the killing starts. You have no idea what she is, what she could be, and you should call her Majesty.
Mm.
I just thought that was really cool. And then there was one that says, fuck the fates. They don't get to decide shit for me. I decide what my future is going to be. And I was like, maybe I should have read this book because I say that all the time. So,
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't worry. I did a I love you, Maggie.
yes, this is how we do the books that I'm like, I cannot read another series that isn't done yet. Please tell me what happens. I'm very invested in the Obius from Feybound. I
Yes.
have not read those books. So I'm just trusting Maggie to tell me what happens when the last book comes out.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Laura's done the same for me before. I'm like, book club tonight, and I've not read a thing. Catch me up right immediately now. I've done that. And then do you have any other nicknames?
I have so many.
So do
I
I.
think it depends. I think it depends on what group of friends I'm with. When I go home, like home to West Virginia, my family all just calls me sis. If you've ever seen, I'm blanking now. It's the John Wayne movie, where the girl her dad has died, and she goes looking for the man that killed her dad. Like that's what they call her in that movie. They've called me that ever since I was born. I don't really know the connection. And then I have a group of really old friends. There's about four of us, but the only thing that they ever call me is Sway.
Really?
That is, yeah, I mean, that there's that group of people don't really ever call me anything else. So
That
those are
is
probably the two oldest ones.
that is so interesting. So my best friend and Angie and I have always called each other sis. And her background is from, I told you she lived in a holler in Kermit, West Virginia. So I don't know if that's like normal to that area. But it's
I mean, probably. I would
yeah, yeah, it's like we always have, and it was never like a term of even though we are like sisters, it was just like a nickname. Gwen, did you have any favorite quotes?
Honestly didn't get a lot of the book done. I have not felt good all this week, so I've just kind of been out of it.
I know. You've just been miserable, and even had to go back. So I understand. And then, how about nicknames?
Oh God. Winnie the Pooh was the biggest one growing up. And it got shortened to just Gwenny. Anybody who's under the age of 18 calls me Gwenny. And then there's also just G. As people who don't and can't remember my name for some reason, they just go with G. So
Yeah, I've heard both be referred to you a lot. I have some favorite quotes. Um, so my favorites were make me forget that I've ever suffered. I commanded, make me forget that I ever will again. My soul was on fire and I didn't care if it burned for all eternity. So as long as I was burning with him, then so be it. But you couldn't hate something without caring about it a little too. And I love a girl with a sharp tongue and a bad attitude kind of makes my dick hard. Those were my favorite ones. And then as far as nicknames, 95% of my childhood friends call me B. And then literally anybody I meet, work, whatever, that does on a surface level calls me sunshine. I don't know why, because I am the complete opposite of that. If they knew me at any level, I'm a giant freaking storm tornado. But sunshine, it always is, always. There are several others I'm sure that my hater nation has for me, but we'll leave those, won't admit those. Um, so we'll start back with Gwen and start with our questions if you are ready. Um, so I know you don't have a lot of context for the book, but that's okay. Fisher spends much of the book trying to resist his bond with Sarah. Do you think his resistance was an act of genuine love to protect her or an act of fear to protect himself? When you have resisted deep love, has it been more out of protecting the other person of what you may do or protecting yourself from being vulnerable and getting hurt?
I think it's a combination of both for him. I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's probably knowing from what I've read so far of him in the book, I think it's a combination of both. Um, for me, myself, I don't resist. I just dive in head first. I mean, I just do every single time. Fuck it. If I get hurt, I get hurt. Go ahead.
Oh, I so call bullshit.
Okay, who you bullshitting with?
I think it was like the fourth week we were dating. You called me and I was dating like seven other people and I couldn't meet up with you that day. And you were like, I can't handle this. I can't do this. I'm backing out. I can't,
We're good.
it's too much for
But
me.
it took me like 2 more days to like come around.
Yeah,
So
it
and
took
be
two
like,
more days and then you jumped all in, but you didn't jump all the way in.
not in the beginning, no.
No, no.
Took
So
me a
it's
minute.
always like that. But most of the time, yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh. 100%. I agree. Okay. Um, Jameson. Um, when, oh, I'm so sorry. If you met an extraordinary connection to someone, but you also knew loving them would ultimately lead to suffering or sacrifice, despite the connection that you've never felt with anyone else, would you still choose them? Why or why not?
No, I've been there. I've done that. I'm completely convinced that it is either an illusion or a mental illness. So
Hmm.
I maybe that's just me being bitter right now, and maybe I will process all of that later, but I absolutely not.
No,
I,
not
I'm
right
I'm
now.
good. I think it like Bell Hooks has some poetry and some essays about how being single is not the alternative option. Like it's actually like it's a bonus if you can find someone to be with. It's not it shouldn't be the default setting. And that is where I am in my life right now. So,
No, no, I can really relate to that a lot. I've to be completely vulnerable. I get where you're coming from. I've been told lots of times by a lot of people like you're this incredible person and I love you and you're wonderful and da 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 da. And it's like, okay, everybody says this for like the first 3 months. Let's see how you feel in a year. Because is this oxytocin pumping through your brain? Or,
right.
you know what I
It's
mean?
like to be clear, I don't think that love in general is not a possibility. Like I can look at people that are in love and just really appreciate those like the peacefulness of that. But I think like when people talk about this, oh, we have this great connection and it's like I've known you forever and like I take your love bombing and go away because I mean I feel like I thought that once and
Yep,
it
it
was
leaves
not
a
the
mark.
connection that I thought it was. So and I fell for it twice and now I'm done. So
Yep, it leaves a permanent mark. And it also, unfortunately, is something, unless you go through therapy and EMDR and shadow work, it's just a mark that doesn't remove, unfortunately. Karen, um, when realize that you've met someone that is your soulmate, twin flame, destiny, does it diminish the value of your choice that you made in the beginning? Or does it simply make the choice clearer that this was the right person for you?
Hmm. I don't. Can you say the first part of the question again?
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so say you meet somebody, like your husband, and you knew there was something really special there, right? And then you go along the lines and it's been time and you realize, oh my gosh, like he's probably my soulmate or my twin flame or the destined person I was supposed to be with. Did that diminish the value of your original choice? Like, were those feelings there or was this faded? Or does it just make it that the choice was clear and that it was the right thing to do?
I would say the second one.
Okay,
That
so
was
it
more
like
clear.
reaffirms.
Right.
Yeah, didn't cloud your judgment.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Because I think that's kind of like one of the themes of the book is fate or destiny or whatever messing with their perception of each other and ability to see each other clearly. Laura, Fisher is willing to die to save others multiple times throughout the story. When does self-sacrifice become heroic and when does it become self-destruction? Do you ever put yourself on the line in compromising positions that can bring you harm for others? And why do you think you do it?
I'm not sure where that line is between heroic and self-destructive. Um, I think it kind of depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, there's certain people that I would step in front of a bullet for in a heartbeat without even a second thought. And I don't know if I would consider that self-destructive.
Not necessarily, no, instinctual. Um, but to play devil's advocate, like, are we being a hero so that we can be called one, or are we being a hero because it's genuine? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I've been in a situation. I interrupted an armed robbery at one of my jobs. This was years ago. I was 18 at the time. I didn't know I was doing that. I just happened to walk up. They saw me walking up. So they came out of the store, obviously, guns drawn. I stopped dead in my tracks. I didn't try to like intervene. I let them go. I went in. My boss, one of my very good friends, was tied up, mouth taped. So we're calling 911. I'm trying to get them undone. Didn't think anything of it. Everybody in the store afterwards kept calling me a hero, but I never felt like
Hmm.
that. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
That's interesting. That's interesting. It's almost like just your inner self took over and went in go mode. There wasn't really much thought about it. Hmm. I'm not sure where that line is either, or if it even exists. I do know some people do it though for self-destruction, and it's really apparent when it happens. Leanne, have you ever struggled to accept love because you felt unworthy of it, as Fisher often does? And if so, why did you feel unworthy?
Yes, but because the brain be braining and does dumb things and says you're not worthy of some situation in front of you
Mm-hmm.
because of years upon years of childhood trauma, adult trauma, of the continually being told you're not worthy about something or that you're too much, or I could go into a list. There's a list.
Right. So what people told you and what happened to you became a reality for you versus what you really are.
Yes.
Hmm. That's conditioning.
Hmm.
Yeah. Maggie, um, in love with toxic, not healthy elements. I'm putting quotes around toxic because everybody defines this differently. Um, Elements still be true love? Why or why not?
So, no. Um, I think that as an adult, you have a responsibility in a romantic relationship to manage your own shit and handle that so that you don't harm or hurt your partner or anyone else. Um, like, for example, if my husband were to just like start doing things that were entirely unacceptable in our relationship, I don't care that I think he is my soulmate. He will not remain my husband if he cannot treat me like a wife, and he knows that. Um, I like I have given up my identity for the sake of what I thought a love meant before, and I will never do that again. Um, don't get me wrong, I love my husband, and we are absolutely committed to building our life together. Um, because he shows every day that he deserves that commitment. And as soon as that stops, we're going to be having lots of conversations about whether or not that commitment exists. But yeah, like no, I don't think that toxicity can be overcome by love. Um, I think it is fatal to love. Um,
Hmm.
it may take a while, but it is.
Yeah. Um, I definitely can see that point of view. I admire your own integrity and the place that you've come for yourself, and knowing that despite the fact that he is the love of your life, if he did treat you poorly, and you would walk. That's a big thing to say and a really hard thing to do. But I believe you, like you're all 10 toes in on that. Like you're not gonna, that's not something you're gonna entertain. And so that shows a lot of like emotional maturity and growth. Especially with how much I know you love him. Nikki, Fish's greatest fear often seems to be losing his autonomy, like his own independence. What is your biggest fear?
Hmm. I have lots of big fears.
I do too.
My biggest fear right now would be losing my husband or my daughter. Like, just
So
hands
lost.
down. They're the two that keep me going.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I get that completely. I
Especially
think
after the scare over the weekend. It's that
yeah,
fear is strong.
that was terrifying. Can you elaborate a little bit? Like I'm understanding he had like an anaphylactic reaction.
Yeah, so he was in New Jersey for work and I got a call. He was cleaning, he has a big wound on his leg that from scraping it, and he's diabetic, so his wounds don't want to heal on his legs. So he went down to the local CVS and got like wound wash and betadine and all the stuff to put on it just to keep it clean while he was in New Jersey. And he calls me and, we're just doing our good night, we'll see you talk in the morning, whatnot. And like not even 15 minutes later, he calls me back and he's like, something's wrong. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm itchy and I feel weird. And I was like, okay, wash that shit off and let's see what happens. So he washes it off and then he's like, I'm going to go downstairs and see if they have any Benadryl at the
Yeah.
hotel office. And there just so happened to be a retired nurse that was working there and seen him when he asked for the Benadryl. And she's like, honey, your face is splotchy and swollen. I think you need to sit down. And he called his boss, who was also up in another room. He was going to come down and take him over to the ER. But within minutes of that call, Rick hadn't even made it down yet. He started having trouble breathing. So the retired nurse called the squad.
Oh,
And I wound up having to sit there on speakerphone with his boss holding the phone, listening to EMS attend to him and get him to the hospital.
oh my God.
Um,
They
the
use like an
weirdest,
EpiPen in the with when the
no,
squad came?
no,
No.
I don't know, did they give you an EpiPen when the squad came? No. They just monitored him and got him to the hospital. The weirdest part about it all was they got his breathing back under control. His oxygen levels and everything was fine, but his blood pressure, instead of tanking during an anaphylactic shock, his was up in stroke level.
Well, that often happens with people with diabetes.
Yeah.
That's actually standard, and that's something that you should expect because his body's going in fight or flight, and then he doesn't have the appropriate sugar to
That makes sense.
yeah.
That makes sense. Now
Um,
he's still fighting with it. Like he's still getting random bouts of itchiness and just not feeling good.
oh
I went
no.
through, I washed all of his stuff, and so we're just still trying to battle to figure out what the hell's going on.
Oh God, I can completely sympathize. I have to be so careful with anything I use or eat or touch with having mast cell activation syndrome. So, but I carry that stuff with me in my purse all the time in case something like that were to happen. But that's some shit that would happen to me.
That's
Exactly.
I told him I never want to have to sit on the other end of the phone states away and just listening to them care for him, and I can't do anything about it.
Oh no.
That sucks.
Honestly, though, there's really not much that can be done at that point. I mean, it's medical intervention or nothing. Did he get antibiotics or anything for the wound? That's my concern.
Once they got to the hospital, they got pumped him with antihistamines and steroids, and then they went ahead and they washed the wound. They
They wound
what's the
back it.
term?
They said they were going to clean the wound.
They said they were going to clean the wound, but they never did.
Yeah, and they will heal.
Either way, we got the wound looking a lot better,
Good.
but he's still battling whatever is in his system that's making him itch.
Okay. If the wound's looking better, let's let the wound do the wound thing. Try to keep the blood sugars stable so that he can heal as fast as possible. And then by, I would say Tuesday or Wednesday, if we're still having itchiness, we need to go to the doctor.
That's what I told him because he just finished up his steroid yesterday, and if he's still itchy come mid this week, I'm going to make him go get seen again.
Yeah, we may need another round or something.
Yeah.
Also, Benadryl's okay to take like every night for like a week.
They have him on hydroxidine. I can't even
Well, that helps
pronounce
with
it.
anxiety too. Okay, we're good. He's been
Yeah.
treated accordingly. Okay. All right, just making sure. Yeah, loss, especially with something like that, that can go from bad to worse really freaking fast. And I think we all fear that with anybody we love a lot. Um, Udi, what do you think Fisher needed to hear most that nobody ever said to him? What do you think someone who innately feels inadequate, poisoned, and unlovable needs to hear to break through their walls? What would you say, or what would you want said to you?
That is hard.
Very.
I see you. You're doing great. Keep going. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. You will get there. And you will find what you deserve in life. You will get what you give.
That gives somebody hope.
That's
Yeah,
what Kingfisher needs.
that's beautiful. If it comes from someone you love, it might even be believable.
Right?
Right? Okay, so we're gonna do a lightning round and we're gonna start back at you, Udi.
Okay.
And so this is choose one or the other.
Oh, you kill me, Smalls.
I know, I love these. I love tormenting you guys. I've told you guys a million times I'm a sadist, so kiss on the forehead or kiss on the hand.
Forehead.
Nikki, I missed you or I was worried about you.
I was worried about you. I use that term a lot.
Yeah. Maggie, I love you intensely or I'm never going to leave.
I love you intensely.
Leanne, touch starved hero or sunshine heroine.
Sunshine heroine.
Laura, being chosen or being fully understood.
Being chosen.
Karen, a love worth dying for or a love that wakes you up that's worth living for.
The second one.
Jameson, Which hurts more, losing the person you love or believing you're unworthy of their love?
Ah, um,
They're both horrible, I know.
I'm gonna say losing someone I love. I try very, very hard not to be unworthy of the people who care about me.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean I'm not, just means I try real hard.
yeah. I can deal with not being worthy of it because I feel that way all the time. I don't deal with loss very well. Um, okay, Gwen. Fierce loyalty or complete honesty?
Fierce loyalty.
Okay. So we're going to go back to the questions now because there's more lightning round, but if we get there, we get there. I need to make sure. Okay. So we are going to start with you, Gwen. Um, okay. Which feels better to hear or worse and why? How can you tell the difference between I can't live without you or I don't know who I am without you? So what feels better to you?
Can't live without you. I don't like the other one. The other one really bothers me.
I don't know who I am without you.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
You don't like that one, but the Demi Lovato song that you play all the time for me has those lyrics in it.
I
You
know.
okay, but
Yeah.
you like I can't live without you.
Hmm.
Okay, that means more.
That means more.
Okay. Jameson, how do so many or why do so many readers find self-sacrifice in romance novels attractive?
Um, Maybe because no one's ever done that for them. They've never had that in real life. Somebody that was willing to sacrifice everything for them.
Yep, I think
Or
exactly.
I, I don't know. I'm a bad person to ask about romance novels, though. So
Look at Maggie dying laughing. I'm not a big romance person, but when it comes to the dark ones like this sort of, um, there is some weird appeal to it, and I can't put my finger on it. Not that
I
I
think
want anyone in real life to do that.
I think
But
partially like that's the like we're conditioned to want that when we're reading a book, or like we're told that that's what we're supposed to. Like it's like the big grand romantic gesture. I think it's just that it's supposed to feel romantic, I think. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, there's some weird appeal. Um, Karen. For you, is there a point where loving someone requires choosing yourself instead? And what is that point?
Um, I think if I ever feel like that I'm not myself,
Hmm.
then it's time to go. Like if I'm not being true to myself and like what I believe,
Hmm.
it's time to go. Um,
Like if you're bending or accommodating in some way that is against who you are,
yeah.
you're
I mean,
behaving.
it's just kind of, I guess maybe I have an example like this. My husband and I have been fighting for like the last couple of weeks, just because there's a lot going on, you know. Um, we had both grandkids here, and Mike was out on workers' comp, and now he's back doing light duty, but he doesn't like what he's doing for light duty, and it's making him bored. And so he'd come home and just start snapping at people, like everybody. And
Hmm.
we really got into it the other night, and I threw my wedding ring across the floor, and I was like, "You can get the fuck out of my house and go."
Uh-huh.
If you don't calm down because I'm tired of it. I'm like I can't feel like I'm walking on pins and needles in my own house.
Good for
So
you.
we calmed down. Well, it's not funny, but when we first moved into this house, like almost 10 years ago, um, my my husband did something similar. He took his ring and threw it across the room. And I was and most people don't know that I really do have a temper. Um,
Oh, I expected it. Uh-huh.
um, so I took his ring. I said, okay, you're gonna throw it. And I took it and threw it out the window and threw it in the grass.
Yeah.
Of
Uh-huh.
course, of course I ran. When I calmed down, I went downstairs outside and found it. But it's been very hard like this. Like 2026 has just been a very sucky year for us and people that I know and everybody like that. So we calmed down, and so of course we're not perfect, but it's calm right now. And so and like he come to me today and he was like, if you left me, I'd be devastated. And I was like, well, I know you would, but we would
Mhm.
need we need to work on our communication because we're
Mhm.
very different people. And so we come at things differently. So
Yeah, I think that's the key. I think though, when you're under so much stress, it's hard. Um, it's just, and there's so much going on in your house.
right.
When is there time to communicate?
Right.
It's like somebody always needs something, somebody's always going somewhere. I expected there to be strain when I knew everything was about to like get hectic. Um, but I didn't know how that would affect either one of you. I thought you would self-isolate, and then, I didn't know what his response was, but I knew you would draw in, to
Oh
kind
yeah, and
of
I
protect
did,
yourself. Hmm.
and I because I tend to do that. I self-isolate when or if the house is too loud and noisy, I will just get in the car and go drive somewhere just to
That's
get out.
Gwen's way of dealing with things too.
Yes.
That just makes me more anxious. I tend to swaddle up in bed with my books and my heating blanket in the dark. I recently got the most amazing gift ever. I highly recommend these. But they are weighted stuffies, and they hug you back. So the weight of them makes them put their arms around you and hold you. And it has been very, very therapeutic. In fact, even Gwen used it when she wasn't feeling well. Look at Leanne. Leanne got it for me. It's a sloth. But it even helped Gwen. I don't know, something about this little sloth hugging you. It's kind of like, everything's gonna
No.
be okay. Because I isolate too. I don't want anyone near me. Don't come near me. I might be mean to you, and I don't want to hurt you. So I get it completely, especially when overstimulated. Good evening, Brenna. It is so wonderful that you're here. We have gotten into some questions. We did our favorite quotes, but we're still in the meat of things. So you haven't really missed a whole lot, and then I'm glad that you came. How are you?
Yeah, sorry I'm late, but I was like debating like should I just not come or just come late? So I
Always
just
come. Always hop in. Yeah, we love it. Always come. Laura. Okay. Oh, the next question is, do you think a relationship can remain healthy, whatever that means, if one person constantly gives more than the other? For example, there's usually like an 80-20 rule. Some days I'll take 80%, some days you take 20, and vice versa. This would mean that somebody takes 80% 100% of the time. Do you think that can stay okay?
No. As somebody who spent 6 years in a relationship that gave 100 and received zero, no.
No, somebody's going to reach burnout. Yeah,
Now,
unfortunately.
if we're talking long term like that, no, it can't be healthy. If we're talking, God forbid, I get hurt or sick or something like that, and my partner is picking up the slack for, a couple weeks or a couple of months until that's different.
Right.
But if that's the basis of the relationship for the whole time, then no.
Hmm.
There has to be give and take.
There's actually a an advice and what called it by me? Oh, Atlas of the Heart from Brene Brown. Her husband and her, when they get home from work, they break it down. She'll be like, I'm at 40%, and he'll be like, well, I'm at 60. So he takes on more and she takes on less.
Yes.
Every single day they have that little bit of communication of who has more spoons, basically. And it
Right.
balances it for them versus like having the expectation that one's going to do this and one's going to do that on any given day. Um, but I was just wondering how people do that if they're in relationships with somebody who's like accidentally chronically ill or permanently injured. You know what I mean? Like, and you got together and it was 50-50, and then like how do you navigate that?
Well, that's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Their example, I went into that relationship having no idea that's how it was going to be. There
Mm-hmm.
was no chronic illness. There was no permanent injury. There was no none of that. It was just, I'm not doing anything. You're going to take care of everything.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're going to fight. No, nobody has enough spoons or bandwidth for that. Leanne, my question for you is, what would you prefer? Similar to Sarah and Fisher, someone simply creating a space where you can heal yourself, or someone holding your hand and helping you heal?
I think there can be room for a mixture of both
Hmm.
because sometimes you just need that handheld to at least be
Yeah.
something sturdy, so to speak.
Yeah. I think almost creating the space is kind of hand holding because you
Hmm.
can create the space for yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think there's a way to do that and let the person have some form of independence and earning it on their own versus taking like complete control, you
Yeah,
know?
because once you take complete control, you're taking their autonomy from them, and then they're not healing. They're just um, turning into what you want them to turn into.
Basically. And then when it's all said and done, they don't have any reward or self gratification of doing anything. It's almost pointless or harmful. Nikki, for you and your belief, why do you think readers like us are so drawn to broken characters finding love?
Because we've experienced it before, and it's really nice reading about when it turns out good.
Yeah, and gives hope. I think somewhere inside, most people feel like there's a little piece of them that's broken. And then seeing someone love them kind of gives people the ability to think that maybe they could be, you know?
I know that's why I loved reading it. And then once I did find love, I still love reading about it because it still shows you that, it's possible for everybody.
It is. It, I think.
It is. Somebody's out there for everybody. You just don't know where they're at. I had to move to a completely different state to find mine.
There's a key for every lock, you think? Hmm. What if you're like an Owen sister and you've been cursed?
I still think there's somebody out there
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah. Udi, are you around, love bug? There you are. Hello.
Yeah, I only have the canopy left to tear down. Everything else is done.
Oh, I'm so glad. Hey, have you seen the new fans that slide on your shirt?
No. Oh, wait, the ones that go like on your hip that go under
Yeah,
the
or these
shirt?
you can
Yes.
put it, they're all over TikTok now. They like slide up your purse strap. They have them that go on your
Ah.
shirt. They're
I
round like
have
those.
I have a couple that are like that. You can either hook them on your belt strap or on your shirt, or there's even a necklace one that you could wear. I
This
Ooh,
use them
one,
for work.
this one's a neck one, and then I also have a battery operated big
yeah,
one.
I'm gonna need something like that for like all the festivals and events and stuff coming
Yeah,
up.
it was only like 82 yesterday and 85 today, and I am sweltering.
Yeah, and outside stuff like that, it's just too much. Okay, are we hydrating?
Yes,
Okay,
I had 40 ounces of bean water, and then I had whatever this pineapple punch thing was.
good, good, very important. Okay, my question for you is Um, is it healthy to believe once you fall in love with somebody and you trust them that another person can save you even from yourself? Why or why not?
That's hard. Why are you giving me hard ones? Yes and no, because you can only do so much to save someone. They have to do a portion to do it. You know, they have to put in work too. It can't just be.
I know, I know, I know. I firmly believe that there's an inability to save someone. You can only help them get so far.
Yes.
I do think you can help them get pretty far though.
Yes, I
Especially with
completely
love and
agree,
trust.
but that last step has to be them.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree.
Otherwise they'll just revert.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to circle back to Brenna. And Brenna, my question that we started out with was, did you have any favorite quotes? And I'm not sure if you had any of those.
I don't think there's anything as such as like a bad reader, but if there is, I've been a bad reader this month.
No, I think everybody has struggled with like maintaining like consistency. Um, or they've overread and they're reading so many things that they don't know what they've read. It's been a weird month.
It
Um,
really has.
the other question was, Fisher calls Ceres a rare butterfly nickname. That's why the background's the butterfly. Because he has a blue butterfly in the cover. But has anybody ever given you a nickname that has stuck? And do you like it or do you hate it? And what is it?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever been given a nickname that's like outside of like my name. So like I have some people that call me like Bren, or like when I was a little kid, I had family members that called me like Bren, but I've never had anything that's been like outside of like my name,
What
which
does
is weird.
Corey call you?
Usually Brenna or Babe, usually one of the two.
Yeah, one of the like a term of endearment or by your name.
Yeah.
It's either all or nothing. Some people have nope, no nicknames, or they have a million, is what we've
Hmm.
discovered. My question for you, um, for it personally, does being fully known by another person, that means all of your history, all of your trauma, all of your deep, darkest secrets, everything about you, is it feel comforting or terrifying?
I think both.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like before my relationship with Corey, it was probably more terrifying because that was more of like my experience. And
Right.
now, like with him, it's comforting because I know that regardless of what's going on, like he already knows all the shit anyway, so I can confide in him. But I still think it's a little of both.
It is scary to be fully seen, I think, only because A, there might be something that they don't like and leave for, or B, they could manipulate and use against you at a later date. That's
Which
always
I have had happen to me by past partners. So, like, that's why it is
me
scary. Not
too.
necessarily because of him, but yeah.
Me too. I've had it happen now 3 times. So I unlocking that trauma door is not going to be easy again.
Hmm.
No, not if it's going to be used as a power flip at some
Exactly.
point. And people are that diabolical. So we're
Mhm.
doing another lightning round, and we're gonna start with you. Um, so it's a one or the other type of one. So knowing deep in your heart without a doubt that someone loves you, or hearing them say it often and daily.
Knowing like deeply that somebody loves me, even if they don't say it often.
Yeah. Okay. Gwen, um, feeling safe or feeling desired.
Probably safe.
Okay. Jameson, being someone's peace or being someone's passion.
Why do I always get the ones that I can't decide? I passion, I think.
Me too. You're not alone in that.
I don't I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah. hmm Karen, a love that changes you or a love that accepts you exactly as you are.
Exactly as I am.
Okay. Laura, um, loving someone, this is a decision you make. Loving someone despite their flaws or finding a way to fall in love with their flaws.
Falling in love with their flaws.
That's not easy to do, but possible.
Depends on the
Um,
person.
yeah, always depends on the person. Okay. Leanne, a partner who challenges you and is always bantering, or a partner who comforts you and makes you feel whole.
Give me the banter. Give me the challenge.
hmm
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think it might get a little boring the other way for you. Maggie, loving one person forever, or getting to love that person and experiencing love with others with them by your side. But it takes the forever away.
Forever's not real, so obviously the second one.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
no matter how long we're together, it's not forever. So,
I wholeheartedly agree. Also, out of curiosity, what is it that you smoke?
uh,
If it's the devil's lettuce, that's fine. But do
it
you
is the
smoke
devil's
cigarettes?
lettuce. No, it's not
Why
cigarettes.
does it look like cigarette?
I don't know. They're pink.
Oh, everything you freaking have is pink.
Yes.
I love this so much. That's like a permanent part of your identity. I love it. I was just curious because they always look like cigarettes, and I'm like, she doesn't strike me as somebody that would smoke ciggies. So I was just curious.
No,
Um,
I've smoked one cigarette in my life and I was sick for a week. And my husband loves the story. He thinks it's absolutely hilarious.
oh, I wish that was my story. Yeah. Um, and the devil sawdust doesn't bother your lungs, even though you're smoking in that form, like a cigarette form.
I
Like,
mean, bothers my lungs is
yeah. Par
I
for the course.
have asthma. I just don't care.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. The devil sawdust helps with not caring. So,
Turns
um,
out.
yeah. Nikki, okay. Intensity or stability?
Oh shit. I need stability.
Yeah, you're at
Intensity
the
gets
phase
my
where you need
anxiety
some
up.
stability. It's been too intense for too damn long. That's why that's the choice
I
right
need
now.
some stability in my life.
Yes. The book that you're holding, Gwen has that tattoo as a tramp stamp.
Did she really?
hmm
This was one of the books we had picked up from last year's book festival. It's one of the indie authors. I'm
That's
still in the
so
process of Join my whole
Organizing.
library. Yeah.
I got it the day I turned 18. So like let's throw this out there.
Not a bad thing. What do you call your butt? An apple bottom? If that's what it brings attention. I'm embarrassing the hell out of her. I'm sorry. But yeah, she has an apple bottom and it brings attention to it. And back then, what size were you? Like you were constantly wearing super short shirts and low Janko jeans with your big apple bottom.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the fact that Gwen has a tramp stamp now. That's wonderful.
Oh, she totally does. It was the first thing I ever noticed. I was like, do you have a tramp? Because she like walked up to me like all sauntering with like big dick energy, like this big mass, large and in charge, and like we're sitting on this bench and she leans forward to like pick up something and I'm like, um, you have a tramp stamp. This is going to be fun. Totally fun. And I loved it. I think it's great. But yes, that is, what's the symbol, Glenn? I always think it's the female symbol. It's not. It's an ankh.
It's the Egyptian symbol for life. It's called an ankh. Ankh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
To
always
those who
wonder.
don't know, this is called Normal Chaos by A.V. Smith.
Ooh, okay.
Oops, upside down.
And then Udi, finally, for you, magnetic chemistry that is undeniable or secure and stable compatibility.
Magnetic. We
How?
can work towards secure.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if it's still my Facebook background, but it was like, if it's not intense love, I don't want it. Like intense, passionate love, I don't want it.
Is it the quote from Meet Joe Black?
I think so.
Oh my gosh, one of my favorite quotes of all time. I'll have to post it in
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
club.
If
Oh,
it's not crazy passionate love, then
yes.
it doesn't, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It says basically everything in life is mediocre. And so
Love shouldn't
love
be.
should not be one of them. Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that. So I'm going to go over a quick few announcements really quickly. So this we are celebrating Pride Month, and we decided to pick or nominate from our last meeting the people that attended, which ended up being overwhelming accidentally, because I want to read every freaking book on the list. And it was really, really hard for me to pick, as I know it was for a lot of other people. But Maggie's book won. And the title itself had me going. And then when I read more about it, I think I'm going to love it. But it is, let me put it up on my boobs so you can see. I Feed Her to the Beast, and the Beast is Me, and it is by Jameson Shea. Is that right? How you pronounce it. And the little bit of synopsis about it is the book explores themes of ambition, systematic exclusion, and the heavy toll of giving everything to a world that refuses to love you back, often drawing comparisons to Black Swan, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. My question here is, where's the gay? So where does the gay come in? Is it LGBTQ themed? Is it an LGBTQ author? Fill us in, Maggie.
I actually don't remember off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's both.
The female main character is bisexual.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know about the author.
I was just reading up on her. I think she is also some version of queer.
Oh, cool. I'm very curious if there's going to be some queer activity for getting ahead. But I'm like, well, depending on how fast we read it, we can also read one of the queer poetry books because those go so fast. But you won by a very high vote. So we're reading it. And I've decided, so the book is in 4 parts. We're gonna try to get to part 2, chapter 6. If we split it in threes, it's 30 chapters. It would be to part 2, chapter 10. So we're just going to dial that back a little bit and see how we all do. If we need to speed it up, we will. If we need to slow it down, we will. We're just going to take this at our own summer pace and see how we go. The second
I,
thing,
I am going to butt
oh,
in here real quick and say I looked up Jameis and Shea, and they go by they, them pronouns.
I am
So
so sorry. Oh, thank you so much for clarifying. So they, them. Wow. Okay. Well, the picture on this is so erotic. And with the title, it's so sexy. It was really, really hard for me not to go into my lesbian feels and use she terms that I should have looked that up. Thank you, Nikki. And then our meetup is going to be on the rooftop of the Renaissance Hotel downtown. You get a resort pass through the app. I chose the hours 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. because if you go midday, it's half the price. Also, um, the best way to do this would be to carpool or Uber,
Parking
uh,
is very
because
expensive.
parking can be expensive there. But it is so chill. It has like very few people know about it. It's a really cool atmosphere. I think Jameson, you have been there because we invited you to come when Lana and Shelly and Sarah were there. It's a really, really beautiful pool. Lots of comfy seating and like a hot tub and all this good stuff. And then also because that one costs, there most of these events I will be at and will be posting about them in book club. So if you want to meet up at Pride or you want to meet up at Comfest or whatever, that's possible too. Just to get together and see each other and all that good stuff. As far as everything else goes, though, I think that covers it. Thank you to Udi for picking a book that I actually really enjoyed. It took me forever to get into it, but once I did, I loved it.
Dude, me too. I think I was chapter 37 when I actually got into it.
34 is about where it hit me, and I was like, okay, this is my jam. I'm ready to continue here. Um, but I'm not a DNFer, and was telling Gwen that, like, because I was like, oh, this is painful. And she was like, why don't you just put it down? I'm like, no, 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 no. Quit is not in my vocabulary. I'm seeing this fucker through. But I am glad that I did. And then anybody that needs to go is free to go. But club stuff is done. Is there any other announcements? Why do I feel like I'm missing something? Am I missing something? No? No. We're good. Okay.